Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Rush, holding it down with the Labudo Network. Right now, I'm promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, you need armed guards or unarmed guards, call up my business line and I'll line it up. The bigger the contract, the more money we make together, you heard? Today, I got special guests. I got my boy Wale World in the building. We're going to expound on the He-Man film, on how much of a garbage film it is. Yo, Wale, man, talk to the people, man. Let them know what's poppin'.
Yeah, what's good with y'all, man?
Yo, so what's your thoughts on the He-Man film, man? Like, you wanna get into it a little bit, man?
No, yeah, I think overall, I think it was decent.
Decent? How?
To me, it was just decent for what it produced. I mean, I'll take it from that point of view.
I mean, like as far as like the actors, I mean, the acting was pretty decent, but as far as like how the film was written, I wasn't a big fan of it because, He-Man, they made him look like a chump in that film. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I mean that from that side of the point of view, yeah, it definitely made him look like that. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like when you act like when we pretty much talk about this a little bit in the back door, that's why I was like saying like when it came to like this whole concept of the movie, then at the same time in the concept of looking at the backstory of the character, because the little bit of digging that I did, coming to find out is like the overall thing that they sold. Pretty much like you just said, it wasn't all that. That's what I'm saying. It was decent. I'm not saying it was like great or anything, but it was decent. Like action for sure. I think the action was pretty solid for sure. But overall, the stuff was just basic. Yo, Jerk. No, not Jerk. I mean, Russ. Mike.
My bad. Nah, I said sophisticated jerk says, have you watched the movie? Was it bad? You want to answer it?
So, Jerk, I'll say this, man. It's like I think for the action part, you'll be cool. For everything else, you just like, what the dogma is this? I say 6. I think, yeah, more likely, so I'll give it 6.
I would give it a 4. The reason why I would give it a 4 is because, like they kind of like they made him look like a chump in the film, man. You know what I mean? But as far as like
that's for the human side. That's for the subpar humanoid side of it all. Okay. Look, I'm not mad at what you're talking about, but I mean, that's not the only part of the movie that was ultimately overall. But I mean, nonetheless, yeah, I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, man. As far as like the special effects and how they executed it was decent. I like some of the because when the He-Man went to his homeland or whatever, with the green tigers and the Skeletor and all that. I thought they did a fantastic job on executing that part of the film. I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like I said, I think that just for what it was all right. But I mean, honestly, there was a lot of this is why I'm saying like a lot of things that they do with these things, with these intellectual properties, is very like it's so like when you look at it from the trailer, you would think you're gonna get some very much heavy live action, and then it's like as you actually watch the damn thing, it's like, bro, what is this? What we doing? Because this is not He-Man that people are selling. Because first and foremost, technically from what they sold or whatever version of reality that they had, right? They were pretty much basing He-Man off of Conan the Barbarian, right? And he's supposed to be more a barbarian, like barbarian like warrior, Vikings type styles, all
right?
That, get that primal instincts.
Yeah, you're right about that because when you see the older version of the film from the 80s, he was real, barbaric with it. With this particular He-Man, he wasn't barbaric. He was kind of like woke and soft. I mean,
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, the movie. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was all right for at least everything else, but like, honestly, this is not, as far as what they've sold to us based upon whatever materials they had or whatever material they came up with. This is not He-Man, not by a close shot. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just so stupid. Because I ain't gonna lie, most of the so like walk away moments were literally in the beginning of the movie. Like, and I say mainly beginning to the point like the boy had to be like, once He-Man had to be taking the sword and go into the portal only for him to lose it. Like, that part right there for me is like, okay, like, this is the most corniest thing in the world I ever had experienced. And until it's like, the most weirdest part is, it's like, who the hell raised you at this point? Because like, did you get adopted? Like, how did this all came down? Because like, they just super jumped in like, okay, he just got older. I'm like, what world are we living in when this is a thing? So I'm like, all right, this is sort of a big overall stretch in selling this storyline, because it's just not enough to really, quote unquote, how do I want to look at it, justify this as a core part of the movie. It was bland as fuck at that beginning part before they found the sword.
yeah, I thought that kind of threw me off too when because in the beginning of the film they showed him as a little boy, and from him being that little boy, they shipped him off to Earth, but they never really showed details on how he grew up on Earth. He kind of like just out of nowhere did become like an adult. And,
right, and that's what I'm saying. It's a joke.
Yeah. So, and how they, I guess on Earth, he the character He-Man, it's like a famous character within Earth through a movie, and it expounded on everything like the sword and it's the planet he's from and all that, and it just, I don't know, man, which is kind of like that portion of the film was kind of weak to me, real weak. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what the alternative was, because like, to me, and honestly, the idea of transferring him to Earth or wherever he was supposed to go at that point, but mostly Earth, it was very much the most stupidest thing they could have did. And this is why I'm saying, like, if you watch the movie, right, especially towards the end credit scenes when they show She-Ra, I'm like, wait a minute. So he goes to Earth and be a bitch while She-Ra's in another world somewhere within the in that ethos where she's being a warrior princess. Like, make it make sense, bro. Like that, no. That's stupid. It is so dumb.
They're probably they probably did that so they could make a spin-off, make a film based on her, because I noticed
yeah,
that's what go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, because I noticed that a lot of these film productions, they've been making like the female the focal point of being the hero within the film.
Yeah, because that is what it looks like, and that's not, I'll say it like this. That's not like to say that the character is not interesting in their own right, but at the same time, though, it's just the ways how the way how the industry is moving these days is like, all right, you know what, you just want to ruin it, don't you? He's like, all right, kick rocks, because it's like, let's be real, no matter what. People may say, oh, She-Ra's a good character, blah, blah, blah. People should go out there and go watch the movie. But let's be honest. After seeing He-Man, who really gives a fuck about She-Ra? Because let's be honest, He-Man has to be the vocal point before She-Ra is.
No, I agree with you on that. They probably thought that the film would actually do good, but the film was an actual flop. And the same as well with the one that came out in the '80s. It didn't do that well either. So for them to conjure up this film and distribute it, and to think that they're gonna make a profit, especially like rewriting like the premise of the film, like it's trash. It did a flop. And I was highly disappointed watching that film.
Well, yeah, and that's why I said like a lot of that stuff when I watched it, I really didn't want to give it like. Granted, my score is just a score for right now, but honestly, I can really just change my score worse or later down the stretch. depending on certain factors. Because the thing is, one of the things, like even past movies, is like, because let's understand, right? He-Man originally was a toy line more than anything else. It wasn't even a story yet. It was a toy first. Eventually, they make it into a story where they add all these things. But then now, because of this whole attribute of it's like it's a carbon copy, then now you're hearing there's slightly different versions of He-Man in more ways than one. You know, there is no streamlined storyline to a point where it's solidarily confined. And then into a thing, because you got to think about this, right? In this movie, he was more looked like in royalty more than the idea of quote unquote barbarian. Like, I'm not saying like you can't be a barbarian royalty type guy and stuff like that, but it's like if you're a barbarian, I mean, there has to be some type of, you know, some type of question, because the idea of clothing of a barbarian and then the idea of clothing of what they wore, it just doesn't match. It like just smoothly. It doesn't feel like it was a match to me, at least. And then was another thing too, right? This is the thing that really hits, and I promise anybody, if you watch the movie or if you didn't watch the movie, either which way, when you watch it again, if you choose to, I need you to look at one key picture, because I need someone to tell me this for sure. When they send off young He-Man with the sword into the portal, please remind me if they send She-Ra in the portal, because I did not see, I don't remember them sending any little girl through the fucking portal whatsoever. So I'm trying to understand something.
Yeah, I know.
Older or what? Like, which one is it? Is she older or what? Because this don't make no sense, bro. This don't make no sense. Because when you see the end scene and they're quote unquote spitting this idea of this other person that they were hoping to find and everything, I'm like, wait a minute now. Where's this person? Like, is she older, younger? Like, which one is this? Because yeah, y'all not selling this in the right direction for me. Y'all miss me with all this. Because what we talking about? What we talking about?
No, I totally agree with you, man. It just made no sense. And then I'm just wondering, like, how did the kid got separated from the sword? You know what I'm saying?
Well, he already know he wasn't strong enough to hold the grip of the sword. That's why he dropped it.
Okay. So, you know, just I don't know, man. That film totally sucked. But I managed to watch the whole film because I'm a fan of the He-Man character. You know what I'm saying? I grew up seeing, the cartoon show and all that. So I somewhat, stomach to watch the film because I'm an actual fan of the He-Man joint. But as far as them changing up the character, and you're right, like they kind of like focus on more of him being of royalty than him being an actual like barbarian type warrior. You know what I mean? Which was highly disappointing watching the film. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna hold you. Like when he towards like the middle of the film when he finally got his hands on the sword and how he did the whole speech, yeah, reciting the words from the witch that told him to say it, and he received I guess the power of the universe. That scene looked pretty cool. It looked pretty cool.
I mean, that is probably the main canon thing that they've done. Like literally, like I have the power, or all that stuff. That is probably the main canon that they've done, and plus the clothing. That's probably the main ordeal. Like truthfully, like if you look at the end scene when he had the clothing on him, and then plus also as far as in the middle when they actually give him the warrior, like the barbarian clothing, those are probably the most canon thing that they have literally done cleanly. And then of course when you see his tiger pet get the whole bodysuit after he transformed, that right there, I wish they actually did that a little bit more. They wait until towards the end for that.
You know what, Wale, man? I wish the tiger had more of a big role within the film. Because
I don't know why they waited towards the end for that. I don't know why they wait for the end for that. That was so stupid. But yeah,
hold on. You didn't like the green tiger in the film, man?
No, I liked it. I'm saying the fact that they waited towards the end to actually show that off, though.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they waited towards the end for that.
I feel like the Tiger should have had a bigger role, you know.
No,
But
yeah.
yo, what are your thoughts on the Skeletor character? Like, what's your thoughts on him within the film? Did you think they did a decent job with him at least?
I no, yeah. I think honestly, Skeletor to the highest degree. I think he is literally the only saving grace of that movie. Like him was really the only saving grace of that movie that kept you involved into the movie. Everything else was just like because I think the way how you see in the cartoons, you would be like if you had to sit here and say like, okay, Skeletor in the movie versus Skeletor in the cartoons, you take a Skeletor in the movie any damn day of the week because just that pureness of just quote unquote his character being evil. Skeletor in the cartoons was just like a heckler, like he was a joker in himself of a skeleton, and he was just there, just be there, like that was just so pointless. Like, all right, you know what, this is so trash. Like, all right, like who cares?
Yeah, like I felt like yo, I'm glad you mentioned that. I felt like the character of Skeletor within the film was too joking. Like I didn't get the vibe of a full tyrant. Know what I mean, like he was just too funny.
Yeah. So in this case, like, so that's what I'm saying. The fact that they made him way more darker in the movie was pretty nice. I think the only thing different between just looking at the movie and then the whole Skeletor thing, I just wish there was a little bit more of it because to me personally, the way I took the movie was granted, if they didn't mess this up by doing this version of it, I rather just took like a TV series where they actually did a little bit more better, storytelling. Because honestly, I would rather want more of the whole Skeletor thing. Because that backstory of Skeletor, granted, again, different reality versions of whatever the story is. Because again, different visuals of this character. But that backstory of Skeletor would have been, for me, a much more needed understanding. Because again, to be able to be a skull, like a living skull, and then being able to do what you're doing. There has to be a lot of backstory to that, and to this day, I still don't understand. I still don't know what the backstory of Skeletor really is like that. So I wish they really worked on that a little bit more because this version was more entertaining than the version that they did in the cartoons. So I rather want that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And yo, that's a good point, man. Like, we don't know how this Skeletor becomes Skeletor. You know what I mean? And it'll be kind of dope if they. You know what? I think it would have been better for them to do a. You're right. They would have. It would have been a lot better if it was a television show because at least they could get into more details on everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who's Skeletor? Where's he from? How did he become Skeletor? You know what I mean? Um,
Right.
they could have even showed the He-Man, the character He-Man, Adam, right, growing up on Earth, and then transition to like the fifth season of him being within his own planet. I mean, like, but you will each season will break down on why how Adam was growing up on Earth. I think that would be dope. If they did something like that.
No, I would have thrown that whole Earth shit away. I don't fucking know what I'm saying. I'm throwing that whole Earth shit in the garbage, bro. It would have been better when Skeletor took over Gray Skull and he went with the rest of the people that ran away and were trying to be underground and everything and being centered. He would have been better that way, and then the sword be teleported in some lost area that they were close to enough for him to go pick it up. I'd rather have that. The sending him to Earth was just a weird ass thing, bro. It's like no.
Nah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, okay, Smallville, for example, right? Smallville is based on Clark being Clark within his teen years. You know what I mean? Like, and the show did pretty good. Like, it lasted for about 12 seasons. You know what I mean? I think if they did a similar run with He-Man like that, growing up on Earth, I think it'll do good. I say like two seasons max for Earth, and then the rest of the season where he from originally. You know what I mean? It'll be
Yeah,
a dope bulldog.
I would have took that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm still would have took that. And the only reason I would have took that is because At least with Clark, I mean, he ain't really that much different. Like, even though he's quote unquote considered an alien within DC, he looks exactly like any other human, everything else, and all that with everything else. For me, I just don't see the same different. Like, I look at Clark slash Superman, I don't see the same for him and He-Man, because they go up in different timelines. Like, He-Man's from an elder timeline where you got the medieval stuff and everything else. So I just don't see it the same walk of life. It's just not, it's not equal. So for me, no, I wouldn't see it.
I don't know, man. Like, if they were, I don't know. Like, I think it could. I mean, obviously, you got to spice it up. Have Adam grow up in like.
Okay, spice it up. You can spice it up within whatever time right they're in within that zone.
Man, like, hear me out. Hear me out. Like, if they were to have Adam like live in some type of inner city, like stealing cars, you know what I mean? And they break down on where he's originally from throughout him living on Earth. I think that'd be dope. It'll have a nice little edge and it'll be different. You know what I mean? And the build up will be even greater. You know what I mean?
Nah, I can't, bro. I can't take it. I can't take it. The way they saw this shit, I can never take that shit. I can never, bro. That shit was too ass for me. Like, don't get me wrong, right? If it was in another world, like, with a little bit more motivation, the parents were involved, they gave him some wisdom and all that other shit, like they did Superman and stuff like that with Clark and all that, fine. But that's not the case. That's what I'm saying. Screw the whole human shit. I don't know. Like, screw all that. Just keep it inbound in the universe, in the world. Like, no. This whole splitting off to the human world and doing all this extra stuff and then only for you to go back to your real world, it's like, no. I ain't with that. Shit ridiculous to me. They should have literally teleported his ass somewhere within the universe, far away, into another zone, and then after that, collect on that. That's what they should have did, because it was sort of pointless to me.
I mean, I like, listen, man. It's just a thought and an idea. You know what I mean, and oh, hold on. I want you to read this comment, this thing right here.
Yo, famous. Superman is different. All his life is on Earth, pretty much. His whole story every single time gets shipped to Earth every single time, and stay on Earth every single time for the majority.
Yeah, no, it was just an idea, fam. You know what I mean? Like, like they did it. They start the premise of the film was based on him living on Earth. So I figured if they were to do a TV show and explain it a lot better throughout the seasons, you get a better grasp of him growing up on Earth. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I just, after the first time they did it, though, just wouldn't do it. I would do it. It's too much, bro. It's too much. It was just way too corny in the idea of how they did it. It was just like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna punch you in the face and walk away, type shit. It's just not that good, dog. That experience was just horrible.
I don't know, man. It's just lately, like, these superhero films haven't been all that great. I don't know, man. Like, I think it's just with these media companies or whatever that's putting out these films. Like, I'm looking at it like, yo, the reason why these films is not good is because it's just a money grab. They're not even really fans of these characters. You know what I mean?
Well, what do you expect? What do you expect? I mean, cause like what? I think, what they rate this one right now? Let me see. So yeah, they rate this one 6.5 out of 10, right? Which apparently, like I said, is a 6 to me. But they rate this 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, right? The original, they rated that 5.4. So, when you
I mean, the only reason why it might have an edge over the older film is due to the special effects. That's it.
Yeah, that probably could be the thing. I mean, regardless, I mean, it really, really mattered to me whatsoever. But I'm even looking at a lot of what they even did. Like I'm looking at just as far as what they've done, right? As far as like comparisons and all that. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? It really wouldn't make a difference. It's like the storytelling at the end of the day is the main equivalence. And honestly, I'm just not getting like, you know what? When you're talking about just talking, depth, voice, that's not He-Man. That's a scrawny kid that ain't got his ball. Like, to what a lot of people would say, they ain't got his balls dropped yet.
Yo, you could tell, like, just by looking at the character, like, you know, if you get a feel like he, you know, he drinks cappuccino in the morning, you know, has a corporate job, which he literally, I think he did have a corporate job within the film.
He did have a corporate job in the film, which is hard for you.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, he wasn't the barbarian type. You know what I mean? He looked frail. And, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. The character was straight up weak, bro. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, he was definitely straight up weak. It was just very sus. Famous says, who wins in a random fight between Superman and He-Man? I think that's, I mean, Famous, I think you know exactly who would win in a fight. Like, that's clear. That is clear. There is no one winning other than Superman between these two. That is a clear fight. That is a clear fight.
Yeah, I agree. Like, all he got to do is just take the sword away from him, and he's cooked, you know? What do you think? You think he'll actually put up a decent fight?
That's you know. He can't fly. What the fuck with decent fight we talking about? What decent fight he can have? He can't fly for shit. He's on ground. You have a line that still ain't good enough. But what? Ain't nothing you can do. That man could. He-Man is cooked.
Yeah, obviously Superman will have the upper hand. I mean, most definitely. Hold on, Shane got something to say. Hold on.
He said Superman is weak against magic, though. Well, my thing is this though: is He-Man's sword considered magic? I don't know. Now, if you tell me that, that's something different. But let's be real; those swords were pulling blasts.
I would assume so because the information he got from the witch, you know, she gave him the I guess the cheat code on how to unlock the mystic powers of the sword by saying these 3 words.
Yeah, mystic powers. That doesn't mean that the sword itself is like magical per se. Right. So I took some research. So the sword. So okay, here's the thing. Right, the sword itself isn't inherently magic, quote unquote, in every version of He-Man. It depends on the continuation. So pretty much, it depends on which version of He-Man that you're specifying, and then of course based upon the sword's archetype of what it can do. So in this case, that's what I'm saying. Like in all totalities, most cases they're not really. And again, that's what I'm saying. The idea that He-Man, there's multiple different versions of He-Man within the ethos. There's not a clear storyline depiction, and then what that sword can do. I wouldn't say that sword is ultimately magic to the point like it can create a magic blast and all that other stuff, etc., etc. So I wouldn't say it's, you know, quote unquote magic. It's just a sword that has magical properties.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, Fame has a good point because when you watch the DC cartoon version of the Black Adam, you know, towards the middle of the fight, you know, Superman had a problem getting busy with Black Adam because, yo, his power derives from like magic. I mean,
oh yeah, but that's obvious. But that's what I'm saying. But like, but even from that standpoint, right? Let's say hypothetically, He-Man's sword is magical. It can create magical energy blasts from long range. So he has long range and he can do short range. But then that's the other thing, though, right? Now you got to hit Superman. So now you got to have peak aim to actually hit Superman with that blast. And if you don't, then what? I mean, that's why I look at that for me. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, Like I listen, I think because He-Man is just as strong as Superman, but he doesn't have the heat ray vision beam thing, and then the super speed and the cold breath. But he do have the strength, so with the sword and the strength, he could put up a decent fight. Yeah, I mean, obviously Superman will win, but I don't think Superman will wash He-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Take a shot. I mean, hey, look, if it's straight hand to hand, yeah, it won't be a wash, but Superman just have way more tools, man.
I mean, overall, man. I mean, do you think like these companies are putting out bad superhero films? And if so, let's get your perspective on that.
I mean, I don't know if you heard it already, but they already put out this, new nuance of quote unquote superhero fatigue, and it's out here. It's like no one's really selling honestly, if you're not really quote unquote embedded into the actual characters whatsoever, people are just looking for a quote unquote money grab, and that's why some people they wait until they hear from other people how the movie was, if it's yay or nay, or somewhere in between, before they ever go watch it. And sadly enough, this is the reality of people are gonna watch this, people are gonna react to this, people are gonna report this. Why you think you made a great movie and you didn't? It was just that lackluster. I mean, don't get me wrong, special effects made it look good, but overall though, it was just mediocre. Shoot. Yeah, I think Superman would win, but it wouldn't be a cakewalk. I mean, it depends, man. It depends, but just with all that's equipped, I don't know, man. Again, He-Man ain't. I know they made He-Man look like a moving tank, but again, moving tank versus someone that can move at the speed of flight and then some, and then still move fast enough while on feet itself and everything else. Nah, bro. I'm sorry. It's too much. It's too much. That's what I'm saying. You have to be so pinpointed to the point that you can actually land a shot on Superman. Show me one person He-Man in his universe that he faced that was so fast he cleared. Nah. Okay, so Famous, you came back and said after Endgame it got lazy. Plus, superhero fatigue is real. We've been watching these comic movies for like 20 years. No, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, though, right? I think the biggest problem with the whole idea of the whole superhero fatigue part is the simple backlash of how much times are y'all gonna keep rinsing and repeating something just to get over and do the more in-depth stuff. So I guess that's sort of the thing right there in that whole tavo of it all. Because for instance, right, it's one thing okay, you got, for instance, perfect example, Spider-Man, right? We all know in the ethos of Spider-Man, there's multiple different Peter Parkers and then every other Spider-Man across the world and every Spider-Woman, right? But we had to do 3 different Spider-Mans that were also 3 different Peter Parkers. Did we really need that? I mean, granted, one of them is outside of Marvel, and then one of them is inside of Marvel, and then the other one is Sony. What was the point of that? I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was under Sony / Marvel, so they could have just been good with Tony because to be honest, perfect 3 movies anyways, and you could have just did Tom Holland, which was in Marvel Universe, and call it a day. What was the point of the Amazing Spider-Man? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with the Spider-Man multiverse, I don't know. Did you see the new film that came out with Spider-Man New Day?
No, yeah, I told you already. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll eventually.
Okay, yeah. You did tell me that. But yeah, man. I mean, I think it's dope that they have different versions of Peter Parker. And there's so many different ways you could create a dope film out that, you know, a nice little spinoff.
I ain't gonna lie. I just nah, because I don't need to see all. I don't need to see all of that though, especially in movies. I don't need to see all of that. I need to see one clear Spider-Man. That's all there is to it. If you get it like, so okay, so put it like this, right? If you told me today, like Marvel's running this person as their Spider-Man, and this is it, right? But Sony's, because they still have the ownership, and they're letting quote unquote Marvel borrow Spider-Man. By all means, you know, it is what it is. I can't do nothing about that because they have the intellectual property. It is what it is. But into that whole, but to overall, but my thing is, just think about it. It took you this long to get it. Not saying that, you know, Marvel's version of Spider-Man is not bad, because it's not. But even then, it's like, to a large ethos of it all, is like, I think, because let's be honest, I think to a large degree, a lot of this whole superhero fatigue is mostly coming out of DC, because DC been rampant, back and forth, constantly revamping the shit, and they can never get it right. That's really what the superhero fatigue coming from. Because Marvel don't really do a back and forth cleanup too much overall. Let's see what you guys say. He says Tom Holland's Spider-Man is weak. AI tech does everything for him. He don't have AI tech no more though. That was in like the first two movies. I think. Wait, even that was it? No, even the third one. I think also, but still, yeah, that shit was dead after the first two.
Yeah, I mean, the as far as like the latest Superman film, it wasn't good at all. Like, it was completely trash. You know what I mean? Um, you know, did you see the Supergirl film yet?
I told you I've seen that one, and I seen the Superman.
Yo, matter of fact, yo, we actually did a stream on that. Just remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, as far as like the revamped of Superman's, uh trash, man. I mean, they could never get it right. I don't think they ever will get it right. I mean,
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's sort of weird because, so I'll say this: like, whoever is under DC when it came to doing the TV series, they did that shit right. Well, no. Let's get one thing clear: the Superman that they did, I'm not saying they got that right. For me personally, there were some things in that Superman TV series I ain't fucking with. I ain't jiving with. Respectfully, for me, I ain't jiving with. But yeah, but overall, but I'm saying, like, the way how they do the TV series, it was way more better than they do their movies.
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Like, as far as when it comes to TV shows with DC, they actually put out good TV shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like everything that DC's done in movies, they haven't got it right. I just think just certain people, they just haven't got it right with, let's see what Famous said. Nah, Man of Steel got it right. Man of Steel got it right based upon action. I ain't really, like, I know people who had like this whole thing with, what brother's name is on Man of Steel? Henry Cavill. I know everyone has this ethos with Henry Cavill. No, that dog. No. If you're selling me Superman, that nigga ain't even cheery. That nigga has a freaking blonde, has a blatant face. Like, you're not Superman. No. And if so, then which version of the comics? Because these niggas, this is another thing about this. This is another thing about superhero fatigue for me. Like, I'm really keen on. What version of the comics is this character even playing or, you know, reflecting as? Because you have this real Down syndrome of just looking like complete dogma of just like, you don't give a shit. Like, I don't even want to be here. Like, that's not Superman. The fuck? But he is, I think, but Henry Cavill's like probably the best action Superman, though. He is the best action Superman. I'm not gonna take that from him.
I don't know. Like, I think Man of Steel was a decent film. You know, the storyline was on point, and then the action was pretty good too as well. Like, it was good. It was a good film. But anything after that, it's trash.
I think cause look, so put it like this, right? I think Snyderverse, I think, got it right for most of it. Snyderverse got it right for most of it. I think the problem is bad timing and then situations like that. And then, things happening that sort of just made it look bad where people were like, okay, we out of here. Let's revamp. When reality, nah, this was actually good where it was at. Y'all just needed, Snyder needed some time. Things happen, all that stuff. Things got to be pushed back. But things, honestly, from Snyder's verse point of view, just way more better in my point of view. Like, I'm done with the whole, James Gunn version. Like, this shit is just oblivious, in my opinion. It's oblivious.
They should make a film. DC should make a film based on Savitar. I think that'd be dope if they did that.
Savitar. Yeah, but it has to be like around Flash, and they got to get back to that. I don't even want to. With that whole Flash thing that they had with the guy that cast as Flash and everything, they got to have to find a whole new one and everything else like that. This is what I'm saying. Like, this idea of James Gunn's timeline and then just jumping straight in to the waters of it all, it's pretty minute to me because it's not enough. Like, literally, it's not enough. It's just not, especially like after you started to put in characters that finally got TV time. Like again, I get the idea that the Batman, Superman, they got their origin stories like multiple times, but we haven't gotten the Supergirl origin stories. And the moment you sort of give it, even though you jumped the timeline, it was just the most weirdest shit ever. Like, all right, y'all got it, because this shit is ass. So yeah, look, superhero fatigue is real. That is for fact, and it's real because these motherfuckers don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I mean, at this point, man, they should start have an open mind coming up with a film with President Superman at least. Switch things up, man. Because it's just like the same backstory of Kal-El from Krypton. Like, how many times can you conjure up that film over and over? So it just shows you that the consumer is just looking for something different. And if they came out with the Prejudice Superman, it might just make some sales, man.
But that's not the idea. People are looking for different. People are looking for continuations. Like when people look for different, they're not looking for different. Like, oh, okay, yeah, they got no beef and problems with the idea of the origin story or all that. It's the beef of the problem of A, this is the same characters that you're gonna keep on selling. And B, you're never gonna do a continuation that gets to the deeper parts of the stories. So it's like, what's the point? We're never gonna get past. Like, that's what I'm saying. Snyder probably.
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna sell a product, spice it up, man. So you can get better sales. Because if you're always selling the same thing and it's not a spike within the sales, that means you got to switch it up. You know what I mean? Or work on better marketing.
Well, they can't market these anymore better than they already have. That's what I'm saying. This shit's got to go down. Shit's got to go down.
Yo, we hit the 43-minute mark, man. Any last words for the people before we bounce?
Hey, man, y'all go watch Heman. Y'all may joke at the, in the human verse of it all, but I think once you get it back into like the actual world that they're in, you love the action to a degree. But like I said, average, man. The movie was average. It like if you ain't doing nothing else and you like, well, I got nothing to watch. Let me see what the hell everyone's talking about. Go ahead, because that's literally how you're gonna look at it. Like, I got nothing better to do. Fuck it, let's watch this dumbass movie. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I feel the same way what he just said. So, y'all make sure y'all tune in for the next stream. It's your boy Rush, aka Mundo, out here chasing that pollo, that guacamole, that rag gold. Seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One. Yo, thanks for pulling up, Wale. I'll catch you on the flip.
All
One.
right, man. Peace.